Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, of course, as always, we're back talking about the pride of North Wales, Wrexham Football Club. There is a whole host of topics we're going to be talking about in today's video. One of those I'm so excited to be talking about, and that is, of course, our last-ditch win over Barnsley on Tuesday night. But before we get going in today's video, if you're looking for all the best Wrexham AFC content on YouTube, this is the place to be. Make sure to get down there, click the red subscribe button. We're on the road to 26,000 subscribers, so any support is massively appreciated. And I want to test how well we can do on this video. 650 likes, so if everyone watching this right now could get down there and click the like button, 650 is the aim. That would be an incredible like target to hit, and of course it'll be on screen here as I've been talking. All the wonderful people that have supported the channel further, of course, they support improving this setup. I've got a massive softbox light to the left of me, so that is funded by kind people who watch these videos, so I cannot thank you enough for that. And without further ado, let's do what I do best, talking about Wrexham Football Club. Starting off with our 1-0 win against Barnsley, yet another tight game at home at the racecourse ground, but one that we stole right at the death thanks to a great left-footed strike from Ollie Rathbone, and a win that takes us 2 points off the top of the League One table. What a vital win. Before I talk about anything to do with the game, that win is massive, and I remember thinking to myself, we've got 3 home games in a row. We had obviously Exeter on the Saturday, Lincoln on the Tuesday, and Barnsley the following Tuesday. You look at that from the outside and you think, yes, there's a chance that we could beat Exeter. Lincoln will be a test, but Barnsley was definitely going to be the toughest of the 3. We've come out with 9 points out of a possible 9. 3 massive wins, and 3 wins that sets us up nicely for this busy Christmas schedule. Of course, we've got Burton Albion away on Saturday, which I'm very looking forward to, and then we've got Cambridge the following Saturday. So, you know, they're 2 teams that are right at the bottom of the table, and we need to make sure that, you know, all this hard work just isn't put in the bin by a poor display away at Burton, because it'll be very, very easy to not get distracted, but to let the standard slip, because of course we're going into Burton Albion, who are bottom. I think they're on 8 points. Cambridge, I think, are second off bottom, and I know Parky isn't that type of manager, and Parky will not let the players, you know, treat this game any differently to the game on Tuesday night against Barnsley. But it has seemed in the past couple of seasons that is the typical Wrexham thing to happen. You know, we'll have a good stretch of games and we'll win 3 out of 3, and then we'll come into an easier opposition on paper and then not get the 3 points. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Obviously, no game in this league is easy, and I think, you know, both teams will be a test. I think Cambridge will obviously come to the racecourse. We all know the style of play they'll have. Burton, of course, being at home, it's a tight pitch, it's a small ground. It's going to seem a bit like that Accrington Stanley feel. So let's hope we can override these challenges, and if, you know, we can come out with a maximum points from the 3 home games we've had and the 2 sort of lower opposition, then 15 points out of 15, you know, going into that really packed Christmas schedule is massive for us. So back on talking the game against Barnsley, like I said at the start, there was nothing in this game. There was literally nothing. Both teams, I'd say, have 1 or 2 clear-cut chances in the whole of the game, but I think a 0-0 would have been a fair result. I thought it was a game, you know, like I said, where if one team was going to win it, it would be a moment of brilliance, and it would mean, you know, that moment of luck, you could say, because we've seen there wasn't much chances in the game. I think they had the best chance, Jallo, and a brilliant save from Mark Howard, who of course came on for the injured Callum Burton. So, you know, Mark Howard, he's rolling back the years with an incredible save. Of course, I want to touch upon, we heard big things about Barnsley's midfield going into this, and I thought it was going to be a test. Of course, they've got Adam Phillips, Luke O'Connell, who are 2 of the top performing midfielders in the division, and 2, you know, we were going into this expecting to be good players and expecting to give us a right good challenge. But I thought overall we dealt with them really, really well. We limited them from doing anything major, and I thought it was a good battle in that midfield between Dobson, James, Connell and Adam Phillips. So, you know, it was a good battle, and one that I think would have been noted down as one of the key areas, you know, to stop Barnsley, because, you know, the output from the midfielders is very high this season and has been at their time throughout the club at Barnsley. So we knew they're not afraid to chip in with a goal and an assist, and we massively limited them and did really well to keep a clean sheet. And yeah, a moment of brilliance on the 92nd minute. From the on-form Ollie Rathbone secured a big 3 points. At the time, a point would have taken us just 2 ahead of Birmingham City, and, you know, Birmingham beat Stockport last night, but it did take us 4 ahead of Birmingham at the time. And I think if Birmingham would have won and if we'd have drawn, I think there was a chance we could have dropped out of the top 3. We're coming out of this 3-game home schedule with maximum points. I could not be any happier. I don't care if it's a scrappy 1-0 win. We've had a 1-0 win from an own goal against Lincoln. We've had a 1-0 win in the last minute against Barnsley. You could not write this at Wrexham Football Club, but it doesn't matter how you play, it doesn't matter how you win the game. As long as we've got the 3 points on the board, that's all that matters, especially in a league like this where we've seen anyone can beat anyone and no game is easy. So yeah, we've done really, really well, and that's a testament to all the players and of course Phil Parkinson for sticking with his guts and not changing the team for the sake of it, because I think the players that have come in for the last couple of games have performed really, really well and, you know, have played a massive part in getting maximum points. I think now after Birmingham's win last night, I don't know if we're 2 or 3 points ahead, but you know, they've got 2 in hand over us. I'd much rather have the points on the board than have the games in hand. Parky has confirmed that Callum Burton will not be available for our away trip to Burton Albion due to a thigh injury, meaning it will be Mark Howard in goal most likely. So, you know, Mark Howard came on against Barnsley on Tuesday night and I thought he did really, really well. Of course, he, like I said, he made that vital save in the second half, which might have been a turning point in the game. So, you know, like I said, he's rolling back the years, and like I said, he'll come into the team, and no matter how long it'll be for, I'm sure he'll give it his all and do a good job. It's not ideal though about Burton, because that means now Okonkwo and Burton are injured, so we're really digging deep into our goalkeeping department. So yeah, in Howard we trust, and let's hope he can put a good performance in yet again against Burton. Another big feature of our game on Tuesday night against Barnsley was, of course, it was the first EFL game to be shown in the 8K quality domes in LA and in Dallas, and it did not disappoint. Even Danny DeVito was celebrating our winner right at the end. First of all, I just want to say, in the ground, you know, we obviously knew that there were these discrete cameras and you could see the long camera on the tripod behind the goal, and I was starting to think, everyone's turned up for this. The hype around this has been massive, and it's going to be a 0-0, and it's probably been one of the worst and boring performances of the season. So a moment of magic right towards the end from Ollie Rathbone, that split second on his weaker left foot, has turned the game from a boring performance to possibly one of the best endings and one of the most fitting endings to the game. Yeah, and having seen loads of footage online, there were loads on Twitter and loads on YouTube, it seemed like the LA venue was pretty much full out. Of course, we saw Wrexham owner Rob McElhenney and Hollywood A-lister Danny DeVito in attendance, and the Dallas one as well looked relatively packed out, and there was a lot more than what I was considering, because of course it was a late notice, you know, them announcing this, and it was on a Tuesday as well. I'm not sure what time it was in America. I do think it might have been around midday. And I do think on this topic, if the demand is going to be there for people wanting to watch Wrexham in this sort of unique experience, then I'd like to see this happen more frequently. They've got a good idea of how many people will turn up. It's a question now, how much will it cost, you know, to rent out the dome, and if it is financially feasible. So yeah, it is a big question to ask, and I think it will be the way forward for watching football. Whether Wrexham fans will be able to watch that week in, week out over in America, we don't know yet, but of course they've still got the opportunity to watch the Huddersfield game and the Birmingham game later on in the season. And I think the main thing about this was it was just really good to bring sort of the American fans closer to that racecourse ground experience on a match day. And I think it couldn't have turned out any better, to be honest. It looked incredible, and I'll insert some footage here of one of my subscribers who was in Dallas. He's left me an email saying all about his experience, so I'll leave it on screen now and I'll show the footage. And you know, I was watching the clips back and I thought, this is genuinely incredible. So I hope everyone who went had a really good time, and if you did go, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would it be something you would do more often? Would it be something you would do week in, week out if the option was there, or would you prefer to watch it on your TV at home? Like I said, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'm really looking forward to reading them all.
Lee will take it. It's whipped in again and fisted away this time by Killen.
Signed Ben Foster for the closing stages of the campaign.
And now an opportunity for Turk inside the penalty area, and it broke to him kindly, and Killen the lead. Lee's Killen! And again it's Killen with an excellent set. But he has, it's all over. Another narrow victory for Wrexham. And this one.
And moving on now to a loan watch. Of course, this is much needed after most of the players have played a couple of games since the last one. Of course, we're going to start off with Sam Dolby. Dolby played 72 minutes in Dundee United's 2-0 win over St Mirren at the weekend. He didn't get another goal contribution to his name, but he helped the Tangerines maintain their position in 4th place in the Scottish Premiership. Another big win for Dundee United as they sort of continue to defy the odds this season. You know, they're on track for Europe. I think Europa League gets 4th place. So Dolby is leading the line really, really well for Dundee United and is playing a big part in their success this season. Jake Bickerstaff now, following on from his goal away at Aldershot Town. Bickerstaff played 1 minute in their 3-0 win at home to York City and got 1 goal and 1 assist versus Stoke Academy in the National League Cup. So yes, it's not a competitive game, and yes, it's not a competition that Altrincham are going to be taken seriously, but Bickerstaff, it's another goal and assist. Hopefully it does his confidence good. Like I said, that's 3 goals and assists in his last 3 games, and let's hope he can nail on that striker spot in the games to come in the National League for Altrincham. Billy Waters now, since the last loan watch that we have done, Waters has played 2 full games for Halifax. One in their 1-1 draw away at Forest Green and the other in their 2-0 defeat at home to Southend. No goals and assists for Billy Waters, but Halifax still sit 10th and 1 point outside the playoffs, and Billy Waters, of course, like I said, is a nailed on starter for Halifax, so it will be interesting to see if he can get more goals and assists to his name as time goes on. And finishing off with one of our own, Jordan Davis. Davis is well and truly back. He got a goal from the spot in Grimsby Town's 5-2 win as they ran riot at home to Accrington Stanley. His first full start since the 22nd of August, of course, when he did suffer that injury away in Notts County. It was his first full start back, and of course he got on the score sheet and helped Grimsby to a very, very good win at home to Accrington Stanley. So let's hope this is the start of a Davis comeback where he's going to score week in, week out and just provide for the Grimsby Town players. So yeah, a relatively successful week for all of our loanees, and let's hope they can continue that into the weekend. Finishing off now with a Europe update. Yes, I bet you're thinking, what is a Europe update? Of course, I made that video a couple of weeks back talking about how Wrexham could be in the Europa Conference League, but there has been a stumbling block in our attempt to possibly qualify for it, according to the Daily Mail. So I'm going to read what I've got on my notes here. At first, the proposal was set to be reviewed by a subcommittee. It will now go to the full FA board, and they've described it as a big blow according to the Daily Mail, and would slim our chances of getting the green light to compete in Europe. Now I bet you're thinking, why has this happened? Now the decision has been made due to the importance and significance of the topic, with one executive of an EFL club has said, have their Welsh cake and eat it. Yet again, Wrexham getting under people's skins. There's no surprise there. As time goes on, it looks less likely that Wrexham will have that chance to play in Europe through obviously the Welsh competition, the Welsh League Cup. So yeah, it's a bit of a blow because I think it would have been good for the club. Financially, growth-wise, of course, getting on the global scale, playing in a major European competition, even if we didn't get to the group stage, we'd still have that chance to compete in a big European competition, playing on BT Sport, all the eyeballs on Wrexham Football Club. And I think that is the next step for us. I would like to see us get, of course, promoted to the Championship. Of course, the main goal will always be the league at Wrexham Football Club, but if there's that opportunity to play in a major European competition, why are we going to say no? Why are we going to say no? Of course, yes, the only downside is, of course, this scheduling, and we'd have more games. There's actually no set date for this topic to be discussed by the FA board, so don't really expect an announcement for a set date. Like I said, English EFL sides will have their say on this matter. How that will go is another question. They'll either not care and Wrexham will have the green light to go ahead for playing in Europe, or they'll all say no and will be very disappointed. So I would love to know what they're all going to say, but we'll of course find out eventually. Parky is a big advocate for this, and he said it would be fantastic for Welsh football, and I totally agree with him. It would be a huge stepping stone, of course, for Welsh football, getting back on the European stage, getting back on the main stage, having that increased chance of representing Wales on the big stage in Europe, which I think Welsh football has been deprived of European competitions for years and years and years now. So adding these big teams into the mix would only do it the world of good. And yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on this subject in the comment section down below. So yeah, that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like. Like I said, get down there, click the red subscribe button, drop a comment as well down below. Anything, like I said, I'd love to know your thoughts on a couple of these topics in the video. And yeah, I'll see you in another video. Take care, guys. Up the town.